thee to inspire and guide all our counsels and actions, so that we may always work in the path of justice, love, and charity to one another. Help us with thee grace to do only those things that would promote unity, peace, happiness, and prosperity of Nigeria. Amen. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend our unity and uphold our honor and glory. So help me God. Honorable colleagues, I have examined and approved the votes and proceedings of Thursday, 26 October 2023. Announcements. The first announcement is from the Office of the Deputy Minority Whip, Honorable George Ozudinobi, and the message reads as follows. I would highly appreciate if you could assist make the following announcement during plenary, that there will be an emergency meeting of the 35 Labour Party members of the House immediately after sitting today at Committee Room 201. Signed, Deputy Minority Leader. The second announcement is coming from Honorable Architect Austin Asema Achado. And the message reads as follows. I wish to express my heartfelt appreciation for your attendance at the convocation of the University of Kagboko, Benue State. It was a true honor to have the Honorable Speaker's representation as I was conferred with an honorary doctorate degree by the University of Makurdi on Saturday, 28 October 2023. The Honorable Speaker's representation at the event meant a great deal to me, and I'm grateful for the recognition. The dedication of the House of Representatives to the advancement of education and commitment to the development of our great nation is truly commendable. Thank you once again, and may you continue to live with wisdom, integrity, and dedication. Signed, Architect Dr. Austin Asema. Announcement again to all members, particularly zonal caucuses, that all principal officers representing the 6 geopolitical zones should call for zonal meetings to elect zonal caucus leaders. Similarly, all state caucuses should also meet and elect their state caucuses leaders. All meetings should hold within the next 7 days. We expect that by Tuesday next week, we should have full list of both state caucuses and zonal caucuses leaders. Thank you. The next announcement is coming from Honorable Afolabi Moruf, and his message reads as follows. The demise of Chief Mrs. Alaba Lawson. This is to inform the House of the death of an Amazon Chief Mrs. Alaba Lawson, the Iyale Day of Yoruba land, whose sudden and shocking demise occurred on Saturday, 28 October 2023. The death of this illustrious personality has thrown the entire Ebaland and by extension Ogun State into a state of mourning. Iyalode Alaba Lawson was a foremost educationist, an astute and distinguished businesswoman, an entrepreneur par excellence, whose leadership pedigree among the women was not only inspiring but legendary. She was a former president of the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines, and Agriculture, NASIMA, and will be greatly missed. Mr. Speaker, I humbly request Honorable House to observe a moment of silence in honor of the departed soul who died at the age of 72. May her soul rest in peace. Signed, Honorable Afolabi Moruf Afuape. Announcement from Mr. President. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the message reads as follows. Right Honorable Speaker, National Assembly Complex 3 Armed Zones, Abuja. The heading or title is 2023 Supplementary Appropriation Bill. And the message reads as follows. You recall that the National Assembly recently passed and signed a Supplementary Appropriation Act 2023 for a total of 819 billion 500 million naira, which among other things made provision for a 500 billion palliative package to cushion the impact of recent critical economic policy decisions of the federal government. It has, however, become necessary to make further provisions for additional palliative measures, including the wage award for public servants and the enhanced cash transfer program, which is intended to benefit the most vulnerable members of our society. In addition, critical defense expenditures are also urgently required to provide for peace and the security of lives and properties, without which the government's economic growth agenda cannot be achieved. Similarly, critical investments are also required to construct much-needed infrastructure, particularly roads, which projects must be commenced within the dry season period between now and the end of the year. Accordingly, another supplementary appropriation bill for 2023 to cater for the expenditures identified above, totaling 2,176,791,256,033 kobo is hereby forwarded for the consideration of the National Assembly. While hoping that this request shall receive the usual expeditious consideration of the House of Representatives, please accept, Right Honorable Speaker, the assurances of my highest consideration. Yours sincerely, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The last but not the least is another announcement, again from the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. And the message, the title of the submission is Submission of 2024-2026 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework and Fiscal Strategy Paper. And the message reads as follows. I am pleased to submit the 2024-2026 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework and Fiscal Strategy Paper to the National Assembly. Let me use this medium to express my gratitude to the House of Representatives for its enduring commitment to the partnership between the legislative and the executive arms of government. Pursuant to provisions of the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007, preparations towards submissions of the 2024 budget to the National Assembly is progressing well. The MTEF and FSP were prepared against the backdrop of a political transition, as well as global issues such as the Russia and Ukraine war, which continues unabated with severe implications on global food and energy prices. We are also faced with challenges in domestic revenue mobilization and significantly elevated public debt. Additionally, many economies around the world have witnessed increased inflation, which particularly adverse impact on capital flows to emerging markets. I hereby forward the 2024-2026 MTEF and FSP to the National Assembly for the kind expeditious consideration and approval of the House of Representatives in order to bring the 2024 Federal Government of Nigeria budget preparation process to timely closure. Please accept, Right Honorable Speaker, the assurances of my highest consideration. Yours sincerely, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In line with the request made by one of our honorable members for the demise of one of our Amazon leaders, shall we rise for a moment of silence in honor of the dead? May her soul rest in peace. Petitions, any member who has a petition should please rise to do so. Any member with any petition? Honorable, please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Aliu Mustafa Abdullahi, member representing Ikara, Kubo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kaduna State. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition by the African Center for Justice and Human Rights seeking the intervention of these hallowed chambers regarding a case of contempt and abuse of Nigeria's judicial sovereignty by officers of British government National Crime Agency. Crown Prosecution Service as one Sierra Melo over the witch hunt of a Nigerian businessman, Benedict Peters, with fabricated allegations for which over 10 High Court judgments have cleared him of all wrongdoing, and a call opened the Nigerian Parliament to stop the prosecution and abuse of the sanctity of our judicial pronouncement and rights of our citizens. Mr. Speaker, with your kind permission, I would like to lay this petition.
Please go ahead.
Thank you.
Chairman Amendment Group.
Thank you, Your Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Chris Nkwanta, and I represent the good people of Opa East and Opa West. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise this morning to present a public petition addressed to the Speaker and through my humble self. The caption of the petition is petition written by Mr. Okebu Chimezie Emmanuel, His Royal Majesty Eze Obin Nwabara, His Royal Majesty Eze Ika Uchi Ekeke, Sir Mark Nwabara, for themselves and on behalf of the oil and gas host communities of Okwa East local government area of Abia State. Mr. Speaker, this petition is resting on a tripod, and I'd like to take it one by one. If you permit me, Mr. Speaker, this petition is resting on a tripod. If you permit me to read those three legs. We send this petition for the refusal of Nigeria Gas Company, Shell Petroleum Development Company, and other oil companies to establish host communities development trust fund for host communities in Okwa East local government area for more than 2 years after the enactment of the Petroleum Industry Act. Number 2, the gross neglect of the host communities of oil and gas in Okwa East local government area since 1958 without incentives and facilities by Shell Petroleum Development Company and other oil companies to cushion the effect of oil exploration in the area. Number 3, abandonment of 5 oil wells at Uhurundoke up to date. Mr. Speaker, the prayers are: number 1, that the House should prevail on Nigeria Gas Company, Shell Petroleum Development Company, and other gas companies operating in the area to establish...
Honorable colleagues, silence please. Please maintain silence, please.
To establish host communities in Okwa East local government area of Abia State. Number 2 prayer, that the House should prevail on Nigeria Gas Company, Shell Development Petroleum Company, to develop uncapped wells at Uhuru Ndoke. And number 3, that the House should prevail on Nigeria Gas Company, Shell Petroleum Development Company, and other oil and gas companies operating in the area to pay for gas flaring to the communities impacted by the activities. Mr. Speaker, this is the petition, and I seek your leave and the leave of the House to please lay this petition before the House.
Please go ahead. We'll take one more.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable. Go ahead.
Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Chief Dr. Philip Agbese. I represent the good people of Ado, Okpoku, Ogbadigbo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to present a petition from the Center for Social Justice, Equity and Transparency with the title Petition on the need to investigate the role of security agencies, especially the Nigerian police force, in the attack on Rivers State Governor, and the need to discipline personnel of the Nigerian police force who allegedly attempted to assassinate the governor of Rivers State, His Excellency Simi Nalaya Fubara. The petition was written and sent to me by the Center for Social Justice, Equity and Transparency, and I seek your kind permission to lay the petition before this honorable House. Mr. Speaker, sir.
Please go ahead. Honorable Halims.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Abdullah Ibrahim Halims. I am from Kogi State, and I represent the good people of Akpa, Omalaland, Federal Constituency. I have a petition from one Miss Itodo Fatima Charity appealing to the House of Representatives to intervene in her payment of accrued pension from Pension Trust Fund. I seek your permission to lay this petition before the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Please go ahead. All petitions are referred to the Committee on Public Petitions. Matters of urgent public importance. I would like to recognize Honorable Dr. Adewale Morufu Adebayo to please rise and present his motion.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Dr. Abdulmaruf Adewale Adebayo. I represent the good people of Irepodun, Oloruda, Orolu, and Oshogbo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise this morning to come under the standing rule of our great house, Order 8, Rule 4, for me to present a matter of urgent public importance. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Any seconder? Yes, Honorable, go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, sir, my honorable members, my name is Honorable Mohammed Ang Abba Shehu, member representing Zaki Federal Constituency from Bauchi State. Mr. Speaker, I stand to second the motion moved by my colleague to allow him to present his matter as considered as urgent. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. The second leg of the motion, that's the suspension of our rules. Any seconder? Yes, Honorable, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Solomon Wombo, representing Kasnala Ukum Logo Federal Constituency. I stand to second the second leg of the motion that is urgent enough for us to set aside our rules and consider the motion now. Mr. Speaker, colleagues, I so second. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, please lead the debate.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Dr. Abdulmaruf Adewale Adebayo. I represent the good people of Irepodun, Orolu, Olonuda, and Oshogbo Federal Constituency. I'm from Osho State, Mr. Speaker. I rise to present a motion on the urgent need to invite the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation to brief the House
Honorable Joby,
on the formula
silence, please.
adopted to distribute the 1.1 trillion conditional cash transfer to 15 million households in Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, sir, the House notes that the conditional cash transfer program is an immediate intervention by the federal government to cushion the effect of the removal of petroleum subsidy and other economic shock for vulnerable groups in Nigeria. The House also notes that the conditional cash transfer is one of the 15 items in the Memorandum of Understanding between the federal government and the organized labor on October 2nd, 2023. The House also aware that 15 million households will be receiving 25,000 each over a period of 3 months. Mr. Speaker, sir, I was also aware that there has been a lot of unsatisfactory feedback from the ways and manner palliatives to vulnerable Nigeria have been handled by some ministries, departments, and agencies, which has not in any way reduced hardship in the land. It is pertinent to remind this honorable House about the ugly scenario witnessed during the COVID-19 palliative distribution few years ago, where items from international donors meant to cushion the effect of the pandemic were mismanaged. Further aware that the World Bank country representative, Subran Chowri, confirmed that representatives, the cash transfer are widely applicable to reduce poverty. Cognizant that Removal of fuel subsidy necessitated the introduction of various programs, policies, and intervention to alleviate and boost the economy of families and small businesses. Also cognizant that the National Assembly members, being closer to the people of Nigeria, are meant to represent the interests and concerns of their constituents at the national level. Therefore, they serve to be fully briefed and carried along in the implementation process. Worried that there is a growing suspicion of ways and manners this program will be implemented. Mr. Speaker, sir, the House also worried that the lack of transparency handling of the previous conditional cash transfer program has led to the corruption and fraud, where fraud intended for the vulnerable people were misappropriated by individuals. The House resolve our prayers, mandate the Committee on Constituency Outreach and Committee on Poverty Alleviation to invite the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation to give detailed policy document adopted in allocation and distribution of funds for the conditional cash transfer in order to ensure transparency and accountability, which are fundamental principles of good governance. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I so move.
The High Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished colleague, Mr. Speaker, my name is Thomas Ereitomi. I represent the people of Warri South, Warri North, and Warri Southwest. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to support this motion heavily moved by my respected colleague. Mr. Speaker, I so support.
Honorable colleagues, I think this is a very straightforward motion. So we put it to question. Those in support should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Constituency Outreach and Poverty Alleviation. Is Honorable Opolupum Ete for his matter of urgent public importance. Am I correct? Honorable Ete, are you available?
Honorable Speaker, my dear colleagues.
Hello, is Honorable Ete
Honorable
around?
colleagues, please, please and please, maintain order,
Is
please.
he around?
Mr.
Where is
Speaker,
he?
He just stepped out. I can take the motion.
Well, if he stepped out, then there is nothing we can do. We just step it down. Clerk, do we have any other motion of urgent public importance?
Mr. Speaker, it's a joint motion, please. Mr.
I have not seen it written anywhere. I only saw his name as the only mover of this motion. So we cannot amend that for now. He should have been around. So we are stepping this motion by the leave of the House. I would like to recognize Honorable Awaji Nombek D. Abiente to move his motion. Is Honorable Abiente around?
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Abiente is not on the
Honorable
floor.
Abiente's motion is also step down by the leave of the House. I would like to recognize Honorable Adamu Tanko, if he's around. Honorable Adamu Tanko, are you ready? You are ready? Please go ahead and raise your matter of urgent public importance.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, Adamu Tanko is my name.
Order, please.
Honorable colleagues, please maintain order, please.
The leader is around, so please, you all keep silent, please.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, Adamu Tanko is my name, and I am speaking for the people of Sulaja, Gurara, and Tafa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Niger State. I come this morning on the matter of urgent public importance, Order 8, Rule 4 of the Standing Orders of the House. I would like to seek the leave of this honorable House, Mr. Speaker, in order for me to be allowed to present this urgent matter of public importance. Need for urgent intervention to address insecurity in Tafa local government in Niger State. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Honorable Gaza.
Honorable Speaker, my esteemed colleagues, my name is Gaza Jonathan Befi, and I represent the people of Karu, Kefi, Kokona Federal Constituency of Nasarawa State. I rise to second the motion of urgent public importance moved by my colleague from Tafa constituency. I so move.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Second leg of the motion. Any seconder? Yes, Honorable.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. My name is Architect
Honorable
Dr.
colleagues, please go back to your seats, please. Everybody should take his seat.
My name is Architect Dr. Austin Asuma Achado. I represent the good people of West Federal Constituency of Benue State. I stand to second the second leg of the motion as moved by my honorable colleague. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The House notes that Section 14(2)(b) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic for Nigeria 1999 provides that the security, safety, and welfare of the people of Nigeria shall be the primary purpose of government. Informed that many communities in the local government have been facing attacks, with many being killed and kidnapped. The recent one happened on Friday, the 27th of October.
Honorable Kama, you are disturbing our leader. Honorable Kama. Honorable Kama, you are disturbing our leader. Oh.
The recent one happened on Friday, the 27th of October, in Ija Bagi community in Niger State, where 17 persons were kidnapped by armed men suspected to be armed bandits with 3 persons shot, with 2 sustaining serious degree of injuries, and 1 died immediately, and another vigilante was shot in Gedna community, Garam ward, in Tafa local government. Also informed that the armed men have since taken their deadly attacks to communities such as Kuchiko Boari, community located in New Boari ward, close to the Nigerian Law School, Boari, in the Federal Capital Territory, where kidnapping is on a frequent basis, leaving residents in perpetual fear. Aware that the Tafa local government is home to a good number of civil servants who work in the Federal Capital Territory, worried that bandits attacked, armed robbery, insurgency in Tafa Local Government Council of Niger State have continued unabated, and many women, children, families, and their loved ones have suffered to pay ransom in return for their freedoms. Disturbed that the rising cases of insecurity in Tafa Local Government Council has assumed an uncontrollable dimension, with people in the area can no longer go about their lawful duties without fear of being killed, kidnapped, attacked, or raped. Also disturbed that residents no longer go to their farms, which is for their economic mainstay, and all farming activities have been grounded, with a likelihood of severe hunger in the local government. Cognizance of the fact that increasing insecurity in Tafa local government will help in fighting crime and criminality
Order,
in the
please.
area.
Udwak, please, can you sit
Convenes
down?
that establishing a military base and police mobile force within Tafa local government will reduce crime and criminality in the area. The House resolves that, number 1, urge the House to observe 1 minute silence in honor of those that lost their lives. 2, urge the Inspector General of Police, the Chief of Army Staff, to mobilize a joint task force to provide surveillance from Tafa local government to Boari, Abuja Law School, and Suleja axis, so as to curtail the activities of these criminals. Further urge the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, and the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation to provide relief materials to the residents displaced, and mandate the committees on police, defense, and emergency and disaster preparedness to ensure compliance. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Any secondum? The young shall grow.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Mukhtar Tolani Shagaya, representing the good people of Ilorin West as a federal constituency. I rise to second the motion on urgent public importance as ably moved by my colleague. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Police, Defense, and Emergency Preparedness. Where? Did I omit any of the committees? Is it Army, not Defense? Did you propose Army? It's Defense, right? So it's based on your prayers you have already approved. So the prayer also requests that we should also observe a minute silence. So shall we rise for a minute silence in honor of the deceased? Amen. Honorable colleagues, my earlier announcement concerning the MTEF is my pleasure to inform you that this particular document is referred to the relevant committees, which I believe is led by Committee on Finance. Thank you. The first business of the day is presentation of 30 bills. I now invite the clerk to read their short titles.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2023 first reading. Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act Amendment Bill 2023 first reading. Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps Act Amendment Bill 2023 first reading. Code of Conduct Bureau and Tribunal Act Amendment Bill 2023 first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2023 first reading. Federal University of Medicine and Health Science BIDDA Niger State Establishment Bill 2023 first reading. Federal Technical and Vocational Training Center Kubau Kaduna State Establishment Bill 2023 first reading. Labor Act Amendment Bill 2023 first reading. National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria Act Amendment Bill 2023 first reading. National Vocational Center Oboroki Kogi State 2023 first reading. Federal Medical Centers Act Amendment Bill 2023 first reading. Higher National Diploma Discrimination Prohibition Bill Amendment Prohibition Bill 2023 first reading. National Drugs Law Enforcement Agency Act Amendment Bill 2023 first reading. Federal Highways Act Amendment Bill 2023 first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2023 first reading. National Tuberculosis and Leprosy Training Center Establishment Bill 2023 first reading. Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery Ikosun Ekiti State 2023 first reading. Federal Institute of Information Communication Technology Idanre Ondo State 2023 first reading. Chartered Institute of Nigerian Universities Professional Administrators 2023 first reading. Nigerian Correctional Service Commission Establishment Bill 2023 first reading. Nigeria Palliatives Monitoring Commission Establishment Bill 2023 first reading. Nigerian Civil Defense Corps Academy Anambra State Establishment Bill 2023 first reading. National Metallurgical Training Institute Establishment Bill 2023 first reading. Labor Institutions Establishment Bill 2023 first reading. National Inland Waterways Authority Act Repeal and Enactment Bill 2023 first reading. National Anti-Doping Agency Establishment Bill 2023 first reading. Federal University of Forensic Sciences Establishment Bill 2023 first reading. Trade Dispute Essential Services Bill 2023 first reading. National Social Welfare Establishment Bill 2023 first reading. Nigerian Food Security Bill 2023 first reading.
Honorable colleagues, the second business of the day is presentation of report of the ad hoc committee on AIDS, loans and debt management on the request for approval of additional financing of the National Social Safety Net program, scaled up by the National Assembly, standing in the name of Honorable Julius Ehoverin. Honorable members will recall that the matter was referred to the committee on Thursday, 13 July 2023. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Julius is hereby invited to present the report. Leader.
Julius Ehoverin, Owan Federal Constituency. I rise to move that the House do receive the report of the ad hoc committee on AIDS, loans, and debt management on the request for approval of additional financing of the National Social Safety Net program scaled up by the National Assembly. I do move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Ali Jesse.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues. I remain Dr. Ali Sajesi. I rise to second the motion moved by our leader that the House do receive the report of the ad hoc committee on loans and debt. I so move, sir. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Leader, please proceed to lay your report. The third business of the day is presentation of report of the ad hoc committee on the gruesome murder of Nigerians by soldiers in Enugu. Standing in the name of Honorable Abraham Sani Igidi. Honorable members will recall that the matter was referred to the committee on Wednesday, 19 July 2023. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Igidi is hereby invited to present his report. Honorable Igidi Abraman, is he around? Is the chair around?
Mr. Speaker, he's not on the floor at the moment.
So this report is hereby stepped down by the leave of the House. The first order of the day is commencement of the debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend the Interpretation Act, Cap 123, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide conditions for appointment and assumption of office in acting capacity, to provide the meaning of certain words and for related matters. Standing in the name of Honorable Benjamin Okezikalu and 6 other honorable members. Honorable members recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 5th July 2023. I now invite Honorable Kalu to move that the bill be now read for the second time.
Your Excellency, the Speaker of the 10th Assembly, my distinguished colleagues, my name is Benjamin Okezekalo. I represent the people of Nigeria starting from Bende Federal Constituency. I rise this morning to seek the leave of the House to step this motion down for today and to plead that I take it tomorrow, reason being that the materials, while I was in Angola, was not prepared and distributed. So I want to seek your leave, sir, to allow me to do proper presentation tomorrow when members will have all the documents before them. Thank you, sir.
Bill stepped down by the leave of the House. The second order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to establish the Federal College of Agriculture, Aguila, Benue State, that shall provide full-time courses in agriculture, teaching, instruction, and training in sciences, social sciences, commerce, arts, applied sciences, management, and humanities, and carry out research, innovation, development, and adaptation of teaching techniques for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Philip Abese. Honorable members will call that the bill was read for the first time on Wednesday, 5th July 2023. I now invite Honorable Abese to move that the bill be read for the second time.
Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Chief Dr. Philip Agbese. I represent the good people of Ado, Okpoku, Ogbadibo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Benue State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to seek the permission of the House to present the bill for the establishment of Federal College of Agriculture, Aguila, Benue State, for second reading.
Honorable Faleke, can you second the motion? Honorable Dr. Faleke.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know. My name is James Abiodun Faleke. I represent Ikeja Federal Constituency. I hereby rise to second the reading of the second bill. Thank you.
Which one is that?
It's a bill. A bill. The second bill.
Of which
The
bill is
second.
that?
No, it's a bill.
Mr. Speaker, Palake is called to order and he has complied.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Please proceed.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, permit me to stand here once again to lead a debate on the establishment of the Federal College of Agriculture, Benue State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, you may recall that this bill was first read on the floor of this hallowed chamber on the 5th of July, 2023. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, kindly note that over 90% of the people in my federal constituency and neighboring communities are involved in agriculture. Hence, a major reason to establish an agricultural institution to promote and enlighten the indigent and Nigerians as a whole on current best practices in the agricultural sector. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the College of Agriculture, Aguila, Benue State, when established, will provide agricultural education, training, research and development, which could have direct impact on the poverty reduction by increasing farm productivity, subsequently increasing the food supply, creating employment opportunities for both skilled and unskilled labor, and equally reducing the cost of food crops due to availability. When the college is established, it will help to accelerate the agricultural growth rate, enhance the income of farmers, transform educational infrastructures, yield quality agricultural products, and help to generate employment opportunities in the agricultural sector. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, it is worthy of mentioning that investing in agriculture is a way forward, and creating more agricultural institutions in order to train and develop competent human capacity should be a priority for our great country. Agriculture, like we all know, is extremely important as a source of livelihood. In Nigeria, approximately 70% of the population engages in agricultural production at a very subsistent level. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the objective of the college shall be, 1, to produce socially mature agriculturists, men and women with capabilities, not only to understand the agricultural needs of Nigeria as a nation, but to also exploit existing agricultural infrastructure and improve on it to develop new ones. To act as agents and catalysts for effective agricultural system through postgraduate training, research and innovation, for effective economic utilization and conservation of the country's human resources, etc. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, it is my earnest plea before this House that this bill be considered for a second reading this morning. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I shall move.
Any seconder? Any woman that has gone to Luanda to represent this great house, any woman, should please rise up and second this motion.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues. My name is Kafilat Ogbara. I represent Koshofe Federal Constituency in Lagos State. I hereby second the motion as moved. Thank you very much.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk?
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish the Federal College of Agriculture, Aguila, Benue State, to provide full-time courses in agriculture, teaching, instruction, and training in sciences, social sciences, commerce, arts, applied sciences, management, and humanities, and carry out research, innovation, development, and adaptation of teaching techniques, and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Agricultural Colleges and Institutions. Third order of the day is devastating flood and erosion in Abulu, Nimo, Abagana, Upo, and Enoguku communities in Anocha, in Jikoka, Dunukofia, Federal Constituency of Anambra State, standing in the name of Honorable George I. Ozodunobi. Honorable George is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Aja Ajanze, Right Honorable George Ibezimako Ozodinobi. I represent the good people of Anocha, Njikoka, Dunukofia Federal Constituency.
Honorable Benila, you are?
I am from Anambra State. I rise to move a motion on devastating flood, erosion in Agolo, Nimo, Abagana, Ukbo, Dunukofia, Enugu communities in Anocha and Jikoka, Dunukofia Federal Constituency of Anambra State. I arise to move. I arise to move that motion. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
I thought you were supposed to read them. Did you read the body of the motion? Hmm?
No? I thought I moved. Sorry, Mr. Speaker. Having read the...
Order, please. Order, please.
The House notes that consistent rain, heavy rain in 2023, especially in August and September, has left most parts of the country with flooding, especially in the eastern part of the country, and particularly in Njikoka and Ocha Dunukofia Federal Constituency. Concerned and the floods caused by the rains.
Order, please. Order. Order.
Left the
House, please.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Point of order.
Yes, what's your point of order?
Right Honorable Speaker, it will appear honorable members are not paying attention to the call by Mr. Speaker that we listen in silence. Our rules, Order 9, Rule 4, Sub 8 and 9, clearly provides when a member is speaking, no member may converse aloud or make any noise or disturbance to interrupt him. Sub 9 says during a sitting, all members shall be silent or confer only in undertones. Please, honorable members, we make these standing orders by ourselves. May we kindly abide by them, please, honorable members, and listen to the leader as he makes presentation of his motion. Thank you very much.
Your point of order sustained. Please proceed, Honorable George.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Chair. Concerned that the flood caused by the rains have left areas with devastating gully erosions, damaged roads, collapsed houses, and residents fleeing their central homes to take refuge in neighboring villages. Also concerned that during the heavy rains, farmlands were washed away, businesses destroyed, thus causing untold hardship for the people who are predominantly peasants, farmers, and depends on the proceeds from the farms for their daily livelihoods. Worried that despite Anambra State government interventions and public appeals on devastating flood and erosion in Agolo, Nimo, Abagana, Ukpo, Enugu geographical space, particularly in Isimibo, Amoji, Nkitako, Umu Biala, Umu Owele villages in Agolo, Otimbodombo Road and Akpa village in Ukpo, Amafum Ajanze, Ezie Biagu Ezira, Umu Chime, Awato Ebengu Nimo. The federal government has not taken concrete actions on ameliorating the situation. Worried that the failure to urgently address the flooding
Honorable,
and
can you take
erosion
your seat?
in my federal constituency could lead to grievous consequences for the people and the country at large. Resolved to urge the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Poverty Alleviation, and National Emergency Agency NEMA to provide necessary assistance to victims of devastating flooding and erosion in our
Honorable
Igbo,
colleagues, please
Abagana, Ukpo,
maintain silence, please.
Enugu communities in Anambra State. Also urge the Federal Ministry of Environment and Ecological Fund Office to embark on erosion control and land reclamation aforementioned communities as a matter of urgent importance. Further urge the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to repair and reconstruct federal roads in that axis now rendered unmotorable by floods and gully erosion, and assist the affected communities in rebuilding their collapsed houses. Equally urge the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security to ameliorate the losses of farmers in these communities with cash crop seedlings and cash grants to mitigate their losses and remain in farming. Mandate the community on emergency and disaster preparedness to ensure compliance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so move.
Any seconder? Barrister, please can you second, but before you second, tell us the subject matter first, and then go ahead and second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
No, you the barrister from Kano.
Okay.
That's the one I recognize. He has been very attentive. His attentiveness needs to be recognized by this House. Allah duba in use your campaign voice if the microphone is not working.
He's not with us.
Well, he will be with us now.
Is it secondment? Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the motion ably moved by my learned colleague. Motion number 3. Barrister Rabi Yusuf, representing Sumele Take Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I so second. Thank you very much.
What are you seconding?
My Lord, motion number 3, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Motion. We go ahead and put the question. Those in support of this motion should say aye. Aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Emergency and Disaster Preparedness. The fourth order of the day is a motion on the need to end the 8-year total blackout in Ikara and Kubo local government areas of Kaduna State, standing in the name of Honorable Aliyu Mustafa Abdullahi. Honorable Abdullahi is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Aliyu Mustafa Abdullahi, member representing Ikara, Kubo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kaduna State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to raise a motion need to end the 8-year total blackout in Ikara and Kubo local government area of Kaduna State. concerned that 21 wards and over 200 towns and villages in Ikara and Kubau local government areas have continued to face power outages since 2015, relying on petrol generators and dirty biomass fuels, causing health and environmental issues. Cognizant that this year, Arla Foods, a Danish multinational, invested over 10 million euros and inaugurated its state-of-the-art dairy farm in one of the affected villages named Damo of Kubau local government area in Kaduna State, and targets 4 million kilograms of milk production annually, boosting Nigeria's local dairy development. Convinced that once the power supply is restored, it will be a win-win situation for the government and communities, as significant revenues will be generated, economic activities will pick up, and there will be an improved quality of life. The House resolves to urge the Federal Ministry of Power and the Transmission Company of Nigeria to inspect, repair, upgrade, and restore power supply to Ikara and Kubau local government areas. Also urge the security outfits, such as the police and Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, to set up a robust security apparatus that will safeguard the critical electricity infrastructure put in place, and mandate the committees on power and legislative compliance to ensure compliance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so move.
Honorable Jimmy Benson, can you second?
Right, Honorable Speaker, Ian Zazao, a man of peace, a man of justice, a man of kindness, I rise to second the second motion, ably moved by my good friend. The need to end the 8-year total blackout in Ikara and Kubau local government area of Kaduna State. I still second, Mr. Speaker.
This is a utility-related motion, so it does not need any debate. So we'll put the question. Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Power and Legislative Compliance. The fifth order of the day is a motion on demand for justice on the murder of Ms. Chalia Grace Silas. Standing in the name of Honorable Benila, Honorable La is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Benny La. I represent Langtang North and South Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, may I move a motion to demand for justice on the murder of Ms. Chalia Grace Silas.
Order, please. Order, please. Order.
The House notes that on October 18, 2023, Ms. Chalia Grace Silas, a National Youth Service Corps member deployed to Kaduna State, was brutally murdered while jogging in Barnawa, Kaduna South local government area. The House also notes that the late Ms. Chalia Grace Silas hails from Tabat in Langtang North Federal Constituency, Plateau State, and a rehabilitation sciences graduate from the University of Jos, tragically died at the hands of her assailants while undertaking the mandatory one-year National Youth Service Corps service in Kaduna State. The House is informed that the tragic incident is one of the numerous murders of innocent girls and women nationwide, with perpetrators often accounted for and not brought to justice. This motion notes that the safety and security of the girl child is no longer guaranteed, given the continued liberty and freedom enjoyed by these hapless assailants, who still roam the streets preying on their next victim. The House acknowledges that prompt justice in this case would deter potential perpetrators, thereby ensuring a safer environment for Nigerian children and residents. The House is aware that delaying justice in this case will be equivalent to denying justice to the victims' families and loved ones, as well as the entire nation. The House is also cognizant of the fact that if nothing is done to stop continuous attacks, rape, and murder of young girls and women across Nigeria, it will render the country unsafe to live. Mr. Speaker, the House resolves to urge the IG of Police to speedily identify and bring the assailants to book. The House also mandates the Committee on Police to investigate the murder of Ms. Chalia Grace Silas. The House also seeks, this motion seeks to ask the House to mandate the Committee on Youth Development to review the Safety Corps members as they fulfill their one-year compulsory National Youth Service Corps assignments, to reach out to the family and to collaborate with the police as they investigate the killers of the Corps member. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so move. Mr. Speaker, Ms. Chalia was the only daughter of her parents. Her mother, her father is alive, and that's the only child, rather, the only child they have is late Ms. Chalia Silas. That's why we demand justice, that the killers be found and brought to book. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Ginger.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker. My name is Ginger Obina Omusive. I represent the people of Isialangwa North, Isialangwa South Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am an Ungwa man from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to second this pathetic motion as moved by my dear colleague. I so second.
1 minute silence.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. Amendment. Chair, Amendment Committee, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I think the sponsor of this motion omitted to request the House to stand for 1 minute silence. I so amend.
Any seconder? Honorable, please go ahead. Second the motion.
Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I am Jesse Okejo Onakalus. I represent Nigerian, especially Oshodi Solo, to the habit of Lagos. I rise to second all this important motion, and I so second.
Those in support of this amendment should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Amobi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My own comrade speaker and my honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Amobi Godwin Oga, member representing the good people of Isukwato and Umunochi Federal Constituency. I'm from Uturu, Amanabia. Mr. Speaker, my amendment on the motion, on the prayer, is that the family of the deceased should be compensated by NYSC. Sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder to this additional prayer? Honorable from Kazina.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My distinguished, respected colleagues, my name is Salisu Yusuf Majigiri. I represent Mashidusi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Katsina State. I rise to second the amendment as heavily moved. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this amendment should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Those in support of this motion as amended should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Police and Youth Development. The sixth order of the day is a motion on the need to conclude investigation on the rising value of unclaimed dividends, unremitted withholding tax, and the effect on the nation's economy. Standing in the name of Honorable Solomon T. Bob, Honorable Bob is hereby invited to move the motion.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, with your kind permission, Mr. Speaker,
hello.
I will seek your leave to take this motion on behalf of
Honorable.
Solomon Bob.
1 minute, sir.
Honorable colleagues, sorry I forgot to heed to the additional prayer contained in the last motion for a minute silence in honor of the deceased. So please shall we rise? May her soul rest in peace.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
So, honorable colleagues.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I am Abubakar Hassan Fulata. I represent Burniwa Krika Samagudi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm coming under Order 18, Rule 15. Any motion whose sponsor or mover is not present in the chamber stands deferred by leave of the House, except when there are more than one sponsor or movers, and such sponsor or movers are present in the chamber, may proceed with the motion. The motion being presented, the mover of the motion is not present in the chamber, and therefore it has to be stepped down by
we already have taken decision in that respect, not only because the mover is not around, but also discovered that this same motion has been taken some few months back. So in view of that, we are stepping down this particular motion by the leave of the House. The sixth order of the day, the seventh order of the day is the motion on the need to investigate activities of the Bureau of Public Enterprises, BPE, in the privatization and commercialization of public enterprises from 2019 to 2023. Standing in the name of Honorable Hassan Sheikh Hussein, Honorable Hussein is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My respected colleagues, my name is Hassan Sheikh Hussein. I represent the good people of Nasarawa Federal Constituency, Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move a motion on the need to investigate activities of Bureau of Public Enterprises in the privatization and commercialization of public enterprises from 2019 to 2023. The House notes that the federal government of Nigeria commenced the privatization and commercialization of public enterprises in the 2000. Also notes that during the period under review, about 80 public enterprises were privatized through various modes of privatization, including co-investors, concessions, asset sales, and initial public offers. Aware that BPE privatized in 2019, 29% of residues of the federal government shares in Geregu Power Plant to the core investors to upgrade it to a combined cycle for a total sum of 13 billion
104,375,000 naira. Also aware that BPE, without the investors fulfilling their obligations to upgrade the plant to a combined cycle, sold an additional 20% of the balance of the shares meant for IPO to the Nigerian public on the Nigerian Stock Exchange to the same investor in the 2021. Worried that Jerogu power plant may never be upgraded to a combined cycle by the investors, since BPE has removed the public enterprises from the post-privatization monitoring. Also worried that the balance of 78 billion between APAM Power and APAM 3 Pass Power remains outstanding, though the parties signed the share sale purchase agreement in 2020 and only 25% purchase consideration was paid and a 100% handover to investors on the condition that the balance will be paid upon commission of the APAM 3 Power, which was equally done by the Vice President, Professor Emi Osibanjo, before leaving office. Concerned that the Federal Ministry of Justice recently blocked the signing of the Zungeru Power Plant concession agreement, which will have generated $350 million in concession fee on the ground that there was no express approval by the Federal Executive Council. Also concerned that the current Director General of BPE has been ordered to be remanded in Kuje prison for 30 days due to his refusal to implement a Supreme Court decision in ASCON transaction. The House resolved to mandate the Committee on Privatization and Commercialization.
Honorable colleagues, please
the activities
take your seats, please.
From 2019 to May 2023 and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Shetima.
Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable colleagues, I remain Lawan Shetima Ali, representing Bursari Gaidami Nusari Federal Constituency and from Yobe sir. A rise of second motion ably moved by my brother. I saw second, sir.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Privatization and Commercialization. Honorable colleagues, I'm sure a supplementary order paper has been circulated to you. Have you all gotten the supplement of the order paper? Okay. So, honorable colleagues, the next business of the day is a presentation of the bill. The supplementary budget that has been earlier announced. I now call on the clerk to read the short title.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2023, first reading.
The next business of the day is presentation of the interim report on the ad hoc committee to investigate the abuse of tax incentives, tax breaks, and tax waivers by public institutions and companies benefiting from tax incentives. Standing in the name of Honorable Maki Abubakar Eleman, honorable members will recall that the matter was referred to the committee on Thursday, 13th July 2023. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Eleman is hereby invited to present the report.
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Maki don't seem to be on the floor at the moment.
And his deputy is not around, since it is a committee report. No
You
deputy?
might have to step me down, sir.
The report is hereby stepped down by the leave of the House. Leader, please can you rise and propose a motion for the suspension of our rules to take the second reading of this particular bill?
Mr. Speaker, Professor Julius Ihonvere, Owan Federal Constituency, I rise to move that the House will suspend our regular rules to allow for the second reading of the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2023. I so move.
The Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Dr. Ali Sajesi. I rise to second the motion moved by our able leader that we should suspend our relevant rules to allow us to take the second reading of the bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. The next order of the day is the commencement of debates on the general principles of a bill for an act to authorize the issue. Order, please, order. Please, order. The next order of the day is the commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to authorize the issuance from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation the total sum of 2,862,791,286,033 naira, only of which 18 billion only is for statutory transfers, 992 billion 802 million and 15,985 naira is for recurrent non-debt expenditure, while the sum of 1,165 billion 989 million 270,049 naira is for contribution to the Development Fund for Capital Expenditure for the year ending on 31st December 2023. Standing in the name of the House Leader, honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 31st October 2023. So, Honorable Leader, please go ahead and lead.
Mr. Speaker, Professor Julius Yonvere, ON, DSSRS, Owa Federal Constituency. As you all know, Mr. Speaker, the country is experiencing massive change, and the pressures of governance are heavy. Similarly, a leadership must have the courage at any point in time. Ogona, you are distracting the speaker.
Leader?
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the House do take the second reading of the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2023. I so move.
Leader?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleague. I remain Dr. Ali Issa JC. I rise to second the House, to second the motion moved by the leader that the House do take the second reading of the appropriation 2023 supplementary. Thank you, sir.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Leader, please lead the debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As I was saying at the beginning,
Honorable Bob, please take your seat.
the country is under severe pressure at this point. And government is doing its best to respond to the yearnings of the people. We have a government today that listens and tries to make changes to accommodate the challenges facing Nigerians. Interestingly, this supplementary budget has come in at an appropriate time when the pressures from different classes
Honorable Alims,
and social clusters
please go back to your seat,
are
please.
beginning to engage the attention of the custodians of state power. Governance at the end of the day is about people. Governance is about change. Governance is about focus and leadership. But more importantly, governance is having the courage to refocus, redirect, and reposition the social formation of a country to achieve better results. And this is what this supplementary budget is all about. That is to be implemented
Maki.
on the 31st of December this year. What it contains in a nutshell is to implement actually designed programs and policies that would address those critical challenges that we face so that Nigerians can have a good Christmas, a good New Year, a good post-New Year enjoyment. First, there is attention to paying wages. You remember that during the last strike, certain wage concessions were made to workers. This has to be implemented. Money has to be found. In addition, ASU strike has not been resolved because they were all continuing to protest about the no work, no pay. Now, government has responded that this will be paid. It has also responded to doctors, resident doctors, that their unpaid allowances will be covered. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, this budget also talks about security. And I believe that we are all here, or we've been here listening to motion after motion talking about security. This budget is also designed to address how to empower and reposition the security agencies to perform better. They are doing well, but we want them to do much better. Road infrastructure. I stood up here and also mentioned that I cannot even go to my own constituency because there's practically no road. And the Minister for Works has mentioned that there are over 2,000 very bad roads across the country. Part of the effort to make sure that people are able to go home peacefully and their vehicles come back in good condition will also be addressed in the capital expenditure of this particular budget. So, in a nutshell, Mr. Speaker, the budget is designed to address those critical infrastructural and social issues that continue to bedevil policy implementation in the country. The President has shown good faith. He has tried to carry everyone along, including the National Assembly, and he has tried his best to listen to the cries of Nigerians. And I know that at the end of the day, even our farmers are designed to smile home, because the palliative measures that have been implemented will benefit all the farmers of Nigeria. And I'm sure that most
Silence,
members
please.
here who have not even bought their own rice for Christmas will not find rice to buy, because the palliative measures being unleashed on Nigerians will empty the market, and the farmers will have to grow more rice to replenish their empty stores. So I believe that this is a good budget being presented, and I urge my colleagues to take it as a challenge to approve this budget, so let the executive perform the magic they pose themselves to perform, to the benefit of all Nigerians, irrespective of location, class, gender, religion, or any proclivity whatsoever. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
The DS.
Your Excellency, the Speaker of the 10th Assembly, Yan Zauzao, my own distinguished colleagues, my name is Benjamin Okezie-Carlo. I represent the good people of Nigeria, starting from Bende Federal Constituency. Your Excellency, I'm from Abia State. Your Excellency, how you know a proactive government is when such government has policies that are as dynamic as the changing times and tide in the nation. That is how you know that the government is proactive. Your Excellency, if you may recall, not too long ago, government took some serious, critical economic policy. That policy created gaps. But the government did not close their ears to the yearning, the tears of the citizens. What they did was to run to the parliament for a supplementary budget of about 819,500 billion to cushion the effect. That was excellent. Again, the government has noticed that there are gaps not created by this government, but created by the circumstances, economic circumstances we have found ourselves, created by what we have inherited over the years, and understanding the weather situation of our country. Certain things need urgency. That is why some of the things we discuss here we call the matter of national urgent importance. We have rainy season here, and we have dry season. If certain things are not done within the dry season, we will lose the essence of doing that. Mr. Speaker, Yan Zaza, one of those things is the need for us to move about freely in this country, especially as it concerns road infrastructure. This government has, in line with the provisions of the federal character principle, decided to go unaltered with this, what I call gap-breaching supplementary budget on road infrastructure. I must mention that it cuts across the whole nation. I was going through the papers and I saw, Mr. Speaker, that the road known as Ganaya Lokoja Dualized Federal Road, Ikogi, is part of the roads that will be attended to. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, 3 collapsed bridges on East-West Federal Highway in South-South will be affected. Honorable colleagues, 4-span bridge along Shedan Lafia Road in Plateau, Nasarawa State is also among the ones that will be affected. 2 locations on Onisha, Owerri, Dualized Federal Highway, Mr. Speaker, will be part of this supplementary budget and must be done within this dry season. And you know our dry season is between now and end of the year. If nothing is done, we have lost it. Mr. Speaker, also Bini Abo, Bini Sapele, Bini Bypass Road, Sapele Road to Lagos, and Bini, Ekpoma, Auchi, Express Road, they are part of it. Mr. Speaker, 12 points on the East-West Federal Highway, Warri Kaima Ahoida, Port Harcourt, Eket, Oron, with over 1 kilometer of road on each of the locations will be affected because they collapse under what they call the air floor plane. They are going to be taken care of by this supplementary budget. Mr. Speaker, 2 numbers of collapsed bridges on Port Harcourt Enugu Federal Highway will also be taken care of. This is a beautiful budget that they have brought on board. Mr. Speaker, beyond this, on security, they have also thought it wise that in order for us to enhance peace around the country, security of life and property, it is important that expenditure be made on defense. It is part of this because it's the primary purpose of government. My majority leader has spoken about additional palliative measure, which we all need to make sure that the gap created by the circumstances we find ourselves will be taken care of. This is worthy of our support. This supplementary budget is worthy of our support, especially when you consider that the civil servants have been considered. The president, the executive, they are talking and walking their talk. Recently, they increased the wages for the civil servants. Now they are making budgets to be able to put their mouths where it matters most and put their pockets where it matters most. I am standing to ask that this House consider the passion, the desire, the intention of the executive in providing this particular supplementary budget, especially when it comes to housing. The idea and the intention of the federal government is to make sure we have 2,000 housing units, Mr. Speaker, in all the 6 geopolitical zones. It is captured here that the step is going to start from this supplementary budget. So I urge the House, honorable colleagues, this is a budget for all of us. This is a budget for Nigeria. I urge you to support it with everything that you hold dear. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I remain Dr. Ali Issa JC, representing Balanga Plenary Federal Constituency. I am from Gombe State. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Ize, please be attentive.
Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, while also acknowledging some of the areas that have been captured in this supplementary appropriation, which include the security, the increase of wages, the poverty alleviation, and some critical areas. I also want to use this opportunity to also refer to my very good leader to remind us that we also have 2023 appropriations. It also needs to be fully implemented. Also, on the issue of palliative, I believe this new appropriation will address most of the issues. Mr. Speaker, a lot of the information we had in papers about the previous allocations of palliative have not reached some communities. Nigerians have not seen the money released in the past supplementary, particularly those monies that were released to some states. I believe with this new addition, it will address some of those issues. I also want to call on my colleague to support this, particularly because of the security interventions. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, I want to use this medium to call on the federal government, while they are submitting supplementary or the main budget, a consideration should be given to critical areas across the country. While you are identifying major roads in all parts of the country, you should consider ensure that, let me see next time, Gombe-Yola Road too will be part of the appropriation. So consideration should be given to across board Nigeria. Thank you, and I appeal to my colleague to give it all the necessary support. We in the minority are giving it support by raising some issues that I've also raised. Thank you, and God bless you, sir.
Thank you, leader, for being a very patriotic son of Gombe. Honorable Stanley.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I am Honorable Adedeji Stanley Olajide. I represent the people of Ibadan, Northwest, Southwest Federal Constituency of Oyo State. Mr. Speaker, thank you for yielding the floor. Let me start by saying that this all-important supplementary budget, I would like to lend my voice for it because I see it as a stimulus. The word stimulus budget. We need not say that there is hunger in the land, and this budget will address some of those issues. Mr. Speaker, let me also thank the executive for listening to the yearnings of our people. There is hunger in the land. They heard them, and they have come up with a budget to address that. The United States of America actually have stimulus ongoing to yield or to deal with some of the effects of the recession going on all around the world. So I want to say, Mr. Speaker, this is indeed a very good supplementary budget that I believe will take care of some of the low-hanging fruits and help our people to recover from some of the pains that they are going through right now, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much, and I thank all of my colleagues, and I pray that you all support it. Thank you.
The man representing Ikorodu constituency.
Thank you very much, Iyazazao, the Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. I remain Babajimi Benson, representing the Ikorodu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, during the campaign, I remember what the incumbent president said. He said, I do not know where the others are going to, but I know where I'm going to. I'm going to Aso Rock. He's indeed in Aso Rock today, and his victory has been affirmed by the Supreme Court. He is now ready to work. In this VUCA world, we live in a VUCA world, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And to borrow the words of Olajide, he's come up with a stimulus package. The stimulus package is all-encompassing, and it also covers an area you're passionate about. I remember the impromptu speech you gave at the Villa a couple of weeks ago, where you stood amongst the federal government delegation, and you spoke passionately about a minimum wage. The minimum wage package has also been included in this stimulus package, and kudos must be given to you for championing it. Second of all, the Constitution talks about the welfare and security of the people as the primary purpose of government. Security has been adequately, the defense sector has been adequately taken care of. So has the welfare of people, because our civil servants will be given a stimulus salary from, I think, October to December. That is worthy of emulation. Subsequently, and consequently, our roads has also been given a worthy attention. The Minister of Works has brought a humongous budget to address the deficiency in our roads. So I thank you all for supporting this bill, and I pray that we shall finish strong. The federal government of Nigeria shall finish strong in the closing part of this year. I thank you for the privilege, sir.
Honorable Mark Esset.
Thank you. The People's Speaker, Mark Esset is my name, speaking for the good people of Uyo, who ran Senatai and Ibesibosuta and Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State, the destination state. Mr. Speaker, listening to my colleagues that have spoken in respect of this supplementary budget, and even those who want to speak after me as people's representatives that we are, who feels the pulse of our constituents, I am sure none will oppose the passage of the supplementary budget, even those of us in the opposition party, because hunger knows no opposition, knows no party. But Mr. Speaker, in as much as we're going to do the biddings and what we believe will bring succor to Nigerians, because definitely we are all in support of this supplementary budget, should be to charge the relevant committees for effective monitoring of the implementation of this budget. That is what should be paramount for this honorable house. That we've heard there are roads that will be touched by this supplementary budget, the Committee on Works and FEMA. We've heard agriculture will be affected. Relevant committees of agriculture should be up and doing, so that at the end of it all, passing this budget will go back to our constituency, and we'll be proud that the money allocated, appropriated by this house is judiciously used. Having said this, Mr. Speaker, I want to support that without wasting time, if necessary, because Nigerians need to see a positive change. If necessary, this supplementary budget should processed or should proceed for a third reading and subsequent passage. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Ize Nwachukwu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, Eze Nwachukwu Eze is my name. I represent the good people of Ebonyi, Ohuku Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am from Ebonyi State, and the very high chief, the Iboro one of Ebonyi State. Mr. Speaker, so delighted that the second reading of the supplementary budget of 2023, Mr. Speaker, the title says supplementary appropriation. This shows that the 2023 appropriation, substantive one, is somehow deficient. It's not meeting the needs and the realities of the present time. Following the mantra, the new renewed hope, Mr. President, I've thought it right to approach us, to look into this budget for the interest of our constituents, Nigeria and entire Africa, to look into these provisions and do justice to it. Adding to the submission of my brother and friend, Mark Esset, it borders on us, relevant committees, to ensure that this budget, if passed, is implemented to the letter, so that those defenseless people in our villages and communities, wherein we've heard here several motions calling on interventions on security, the relevant committees of these agencies should please do the needful. Let it not repeat the news we used to hear even before we were elected to this house, how money made for defense, procurement of arms to fight banditry are being directed or diverted to private purses. This 10th assembly will frown at that. We are here to save ourselves. We are here to save Nigeria, and Mr. President has taken the lead. So I call on us, most distinguished colleagues, to support this supplementary appropriation and give it a speedy passage, because Nigerians are running out of time and out of patience. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman, National Security.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. My name is Engineer Satomi Ahmed. I represent the good people of Jere Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. I'm from Borno State. Mr. Speaker, this supplementary budget is timely, and it comes to us at the right time. Mr. President must be commended for bringing this supplementary budget, which I am sure all of us were expecting such even before now. This is the first time since his inception into office, May 29, that he has sat down and carefully looked at the critical sectors of our infrastructure and the campaign promises he made to Nigeria, and he decided to ask the consent of the House for an approval of some funds so that he will going to serve Nigerians with the greatest agenda of the renewed hope, particularly in terms of providing and protecting security and welfare of Nigerian citizens. The past speaker spoke about infrastructures in the road sector, agricultural intervention, particularly food security. And I want to tip in small in terms of security, which we all know is one of the major problems of this country. And Mr. President has promised Nigerians that he will think outside the box and provide the required security to this country. Looking at the terrorism in the northeast, banditry in the northwest, successionists in the southeast, communal classes in the north central and the southwest, all this requires a multifaceted thinking by our security apparatus. If you look at the defense sector today, compared to last 6 months, our security apparatus and intelligence agencies are doing excellently well without making much noise. This cannot come just like that. But we are assuring Mr. Speaker that and urging our colleague to give quick passage, scrutinize the budget so that the 10th Assembly will not relent in our oversight to ensure each kobo budgeted for particular project must be channeled and utilized judiciously. That is one of the agenda of Mr. Speaker, and I would like to call upon my colleagues to look at it and to give a speedy passage to this supplementary budget so that Nigerians will see the promise of the renewed hope agenda. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Thank you, honorable colleagues.
Honorable Dr. Chief Alake.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to speak on this. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is James Abiodun Faleke. I represent Ikeja Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, we are debating the general principles of the supplementary bill before us. And of course, a supplementary bill is normally brought after the main budget, after reviewing a gap that exists in the budget. So this principle is saying, this supplementary budget is saying that there's a gap in the May 2023 budget, which required us to fill. Also, the fact that the present executive were not part of those that made that 2023 budget, and in meeting the needs, the yearnings of Nigerians as regards the current situation that we find ourselves, especially as regards the labor, the civil servants. Recall that the government had met them severally and made promises. Of course, you made promise, but you have to be able to back it up with your actions. And even though the government is ready to pay, they need the backing, the authority of the legislature to be able to do this. And that is embedded in this supplementary budget. I also, of course, observe that Nigerians, as we are, presently, the security situation too is still not the best. And of course, the government has intention of procuring equipment, additional weapons. And this also is embedded in these details. And more important, of course, is that Nigerians, because of the removal of subsidy, are going through a lot. And so the need for palliatives to our people at home becomes very, very imperative. And of course, recall that the Minister of Humanitarian had given her own details as regards the funds to be paid to the poorest of the poor. This, of course, has to be appropriated for. And so what the government has done is to collate all this and put it as a form of
Where are you
supplement.
people going? Go back and sit down. You must have to allow this very important debate to be concluded before you go. Eh? Prof, are you with me? Please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think the women were going for women conference. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I think that this supplementary bill before us requires no much debate or argument because we are all in for it. We are here to defend and to support our people, and anything that will make life bearable for them is all welcome. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I hereby second this bill for second reading.
Honorable colleagues, I think we have said much, and from what the contributions we have gotten, everyone is happy with this supplementary, and I think we don't need to waste any more time. We can go ahead and put the question. Are we ready? Yes. Please clear your throats, because Nigerians are waiting to hear whether you are in support or not, particularly Professor Lillian. All the LP people at home want to know whether you want palliatives to be taken to them or not. So this is an opportunity for you to give an affirmative answer to them that something good is coming. Abi? Okay, honorable colleagues, so I put the question. Those in support of this motion should say aye. Aye. Those against should say nay. Those in support of this motion should say aye. Aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Appropriation. Thank you very much. Clerk, please can you read the long title of the bill?
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to authorize the issue from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation the total sum of 2,176,799,286,033 naira only, of which 18 billion naira is for statutory transfers, 992 billion 802 million and 15,985 naira only is for recurrent non-debt expenditure, while the sum of 1,165 billion 989 billion 270 million and 49 naira only is for contribution to the development fund for capital expenditure for the year ending 31st December 2023, standing second reading.
Thank you, Clerk. As I've said earlier, this motion is referred to the Committee on Appropriation, and we expect them to please move in immediately and consider this very important supplementary budget. Thank you very much. Honorable colleagues, it's my pleasure to announce a special committee to investigate oil thefts. As you earlier know, we have discussed about this particular subject matter, and I know you all appreciate the volatility of our markets today, the negative impact of oil theft to our economy. We felt expedient that at this time we need to actually be proactive in also giving our contribution towards getting a lasting solution to the oil bunkering and theft in our shores. And in that respect, it's my pleasure to announce the composition of a special committee. I will not call it ad hoc, a special committee which will have special powers to actually conduct investigation onto the roots of all these issues and report back to the House as and when. The chairman of the committee will be Honorable Adro Alhassan Dogwa, who incidentally is chairing the Committee on Petroleum Resources upstream. We have Honorable Nicholas Mutu, Chairman Committee on Gas. We have Honorable Khadija Bukar Abba Ibrahim, chairing the Committee on Maritime. We have Honorable Ogona Ozeribo, who is chairing the Committee on Niger Delta. We have Honorable Julius Pondi, who is the Chairman Committee on Environment. We have Honorable Yusuf Gadi, who is the Chairman Committee on Navy. We have Honorable Oguchiere Oyenye Ikegunu, who is the Chairman Committee on Petroleum Downstream. We have Honorable Idianesen Henry Okoji, who is the Chairman Committee on Petroleum Resources Midstream. We have Honorable Maki Yaleman, who is the Chairman Committee on Police Affairs. We have Honorable Inolim Naji, who is the Chairman Committee on Ports and Harbor. We have Honorable Ahmed Santomi, who is the Chairman Committee on National Security and Intelligence. We have Honorable Idris Zakaria, David Idris Zakaria. We have Honorable Abiodi Ishak Akeladin. We have Honorable Prince Olaide Akiremi. We have Honorable James Shaibu Barka. We have Honorable Sulema Abubakar Gumi. We have Honorable Ojogo Donald Kemalabo. We have Honorable Tijani Kayode. We have Honorable Kafilat. We have Honorable Amobi, and we have Honorable Engineer Munir. Those are the members of these very important committees, and we invite the chairman quickly to inaugurate this committee so that they can start working. Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, Professor Julius Iyanvere, I rise to move that the House do adjourn to tomorrow, Wednesday, 11 a.m. prompt. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Leader, please can you second?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the motion moved by our leader that we should adjourn to tomorrow, Wednesday, by 11 a.m. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes should go while the nay should remain. House adjourned to tomorrow, 11 a.m.